The thing I remember most isn't the crash. It's the wind. I still feel it sometimes. A ghost pressure against my skin when I'm trying to sleep. It wasn't just wind, it was a physical presence. A solid wall of noise and force that never, ever stopped. It screamed. A high, thin shriek that got inside my helmet and vibrated right through my body. The dust it carried was like finely ground glass, scouring my visor until the whole world was just a gritty blur. Kiva's voice crackled in my ear, shredded by static. "Can't see a path, Zem, are you sure?" Her voice was so small against the roar. I had to press my helmet to the rock face just to think. The beacon from the Calypso outpost was a steady pulse on my wrist comp, a faint little heartbeat in all that chaos. It was somewhere up, that's all I knew. "Beacon's this way," I managed to say, my own voice sounding rough and distant. "It has to be." "We'll never make it," she said, and I could hear the despair in it, the ragged edge of giving up. "We should go back to the lander, wait it out." I shook my head, even though she couldn't see me. A stupid, useless gesture. "No time. The atmo's turning, my rebreather's already flashing CO2 warnings." The air I was sucking in had that sharp, metallic taste of the filters working overtime. A few more hours and they'd fail. We'd be breathing poison. Going back wasn't waiting it out. It was just choosing a different way to die. We had to climb. So I started up. I couldn't find solid footing on the slope. It was all loose scree and pebbles that skittered away into the howling grey. Every gust felt like a giant hand trying to shove me off the mountain. The only thing I could picture was the outpost, an airlock door, a single, beautiful, quiet room with air I could breathe without a machine. That thought was the only thing keeping my legs moving. Just the idea of silence was a paradise. I found a little outcropping that offered a sliver of shelter and hauled myself onto it, my arms screaming. A second later, Kiva scrambled up beside me, her breathing a frantic rasping sound in my comms. We huddled there for a moment, two pathetic specks on a world that was actively trying to erase us. That's when I saw it. Through the scratched-up plastic of my goggles, a smear of color up the cliff. A lurid chemical orange zigzagging its way up the rock. It wasn't a mineral vein. It looked fuzzy, like some kind of mold or fungus, clinging on for dear life, just like us. It was the first sign of anything resembling life we'd seen on this whole damn rock. "Look," I said, pointing, my hands shaking from cold and exhaustion. Kiva stared. Just above the orange band, we saw the other thing, a cluster of sacs, maybe a dozen of them, glowing with a soft, internal purple light. They were gelatinous, and they quivered with every gust of wind. As we watched, one of them stretched out a thin, see-through tendril and touched the orange fuzz. The orange stuff shuddered, and a little puff of spores shot out, instantly snatched away by the wind. "What are those?" Kiva whispered, and the terror in her voice was sharp enough to cut through the static. I didn't have an answer. "Trouble," I said. That's all it could be. "Come on, we have to move." We started climbing again, exhaustion dragging at us. But now there was a new fear layered over the old ones. The wind could tear us from the cliff, our rebreathers could fail, and now these things. We angled away from them. But as we got higher, we saw more. Little purple clusters tucked into crevices, some of them oozing a dark fluid down the rock face. I swear I could feel them watching us, an unease that had nothing to do with the cold. The outpost beacon was stronger now, a steady, insistent ping. We were getting closer. I could almost taste the recycled air, feel the warmth. Then Kiva screamed. Not words, just a raw, animal sound of pure panic. I looked down and saw her sliding, her feet scrabbling for a hold that wasn't there. One of those purple sacs had pulsed, ejecting a mass of that slick, dark fluid onto her boot. She was dangling by one hand, her face pressed against the rock. "Kiva!" I shouted. "It's on my boot, Zen! It's eating through the material," she said. I could see it. The thick fabric of her climbing boot was sizzling, dissolving like paper in acid. Shit. I started scrambling back down toward her, my own safety forgotten. The wind howled, trying to rip me away. Below her, more of those things were pulsing, their lights seeming to brighten with excitement. She looked up at me, and her face, even through the dirty goggle lens, had gone still. "The beacon, Zen," she said, her voice suddenly calm, horribly calm. "Go." "No! Give me your hand," I said. "It's too late," she said, and let go. I watched her fall. She didn't even scream again. The wind just swallowed her up, pulling her down into the dust and wind, down toward the things that pulsed with that sick purple light. I don't know how long I clung there. I just remember the silence in my comms, a silence that was so much louder than the wind. Eventually, something inside me kicked in. I started climbing again, a machine one foot after the other. I didn't look down. I didn't look at the purple lights. I just looked up toward the beacon. I made it. I found the airlock, sealed the outer door, and fell into the blessed silence of the Calypso outpost. For a day, all I did was sit there, listening to the quiet hum of the life support. I got what I wanted. I got my silence. But it's not a paradise. It's an empty room on a dead world, and all I can hear is the space where Kiva's voice used to be. This has been The Hard Climb to Calypso. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe. It really helps and is very appreciated. Thank you for listening.